Hello, Python developers. Welcome to second lecture of industry level Python full course. I told you after watching 5 videos, if you find any resource that teaches better than this course, I recommend you to go with that one. Let's start our today's class. Okay, it's our lecture 2. Okay, lecture 2. So, sir, let me discuss in this class the most important things, feature of Pythons. I will discuss in details so that you can realize, you can feel the power of Python or why we should learn Python. Okay, before that, already you know where we can use Python, right? For developing web application like facebook.com, gmail.com, for developing standalone or GUI or desktop application, for example your VS Code. We can use Python in networking. We can use Python for developing database application. We can use Python for game development. We can use Python like data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, right? We can use Python in robotics and IoT. Okay, it will better for you if I write this point to the board. Okay, just give me one moment. Let me write this point also. So the point is, okay, na sir, where can we use what? Python, right? Okay, let me write down this point also for you. Sir, we can use Python what? For developing what, sir? Developing web application. Okay, web application. Can you give me any example of web application? For example, we can create this kind of application like your facebook.com now, your facebook.com, your gmail.com. Okay, we can create this kind of application. Okay, sir. Sir, we can use the framework. Okay, now you already know what does mean by frameworks, what does mean by libraries, what does mean by package, what does mean by module. Should I repeat once more time? I think no. So we can use the frameworks like your Django, okay, na, or Django, Django, whatever the pronunciation. We can use Flask for developing web application. Sir, we can use Python for developing what? For desktop application, right? To develop desktop application. Okay, na sir, desktop application, or you can say GUI application, or you can say what's a standalone application. So we can create this kind of applications are using what? Using Python. Let me give you one example. For example, your VS Code. Okay, sir. Sir, we can use Python for developing what? Okay, sir. For developing, like consider your database application. Okay, na sir. Database application. If you know database, then it's fine. If you don't know anything database, then no problem. Consider this is your database, right? Already know you know what does mean by database, what is the purpose of database. If you don't know, there is no problem. Inside database there are some tables, right? Okay, so you want to communicate with database. For example, you want to store some data, or you have a CSV file, right? Consider this is your comma separated value, this is your .csv file. You want to store, you want to insert the data to a CSV file to the database, or consider you want to fetch some data from the database, right? Okay, we can create this kind of application. We can create this kind of database application that communicate with database. We can create using Python also, right? Okay, sir, we can use Python for what? For developing game now, for game development. Okay, for game development. Sir, you can use one library like your Pygame, right? Okay, for developing the game. Okay, sir. Sir, we can use Python. Where, sir? In data science and okay, na, sir. Let me write this point also. Data science and where, sir? And machine learning, right? Okay, machine learning. Sir, where we can use Python? Sir, we can use Python for multimedia application also, right? Multimedia media application. Okay, sir. Sir, you already know your Python is a scripting programming language. I explained what does mean by scripting programming language, right? Okay, should I explain once more time what does mean by scripting programming language or functional programming language or object-oriented programming language or modular programming language? Should I explain once more time? I think it's not required. So for scripting purpose, for scripting and automation purpose, we can use Python, right? Scripting and automation purpose. Okay, na sir? Automation purpose. We can use Python, sir, in robotics, sir. We can use Python for, okay, we can use Python in IoT, na? Internet of Things. Sir, what does mean by it? Consider your devices like your camera or your CCTV camera, or consider the lights, okay, na, or the bulbs, or the fridge, or the refrigerator. So you want to control using the network, right? You want to control, you want to send a control, or you want to see some data, you want to get some data, right? Okay, like sensor kind of application. We can control, we want to control some devices, right? we can we want to control some devices using the network. So sir, we can use this kind of application using the Python also, sir. Sir, we can use Python now where artificial intelligence. I skipped, right? Okay, let me write down this special point also. Okay, now sir, where we can use Python in artificial intelligence also. Okay, sir, in artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence. Intelligence. Sir, where we can use Python, also we can use Python. Okay, let me write 1 or 2 points also. Like in your, do you know anything about DevOps or clouds? If you don't know, no problem, just skip clouds and DevOps. Okay, na sir? Okay, so we can also use our Python where consider networking also, right? Or network application, networking. Okay, na? Okay, for networking, okay, now we can use Python also. Sir, web application, desktop application, database application, game development, robotics, IoT, na, and robotics, data science, machine learning, multimedia application, scripting and automation purpose, artificial intelligence, clouds and DevOps. Okay, na sir? Okay, for example, we can use also where in, I can say like this way, we can use Python where, sir? Okay, in cyber security also, right? Let me write down this point. Cyber security and where, sir? And ethical hacking. Okay, sir. Ethical hacking. Okay. So that doesn't mean if you know Python, then you can hack anything. Okay, leave this one. But we are using, okay, leave this one, sir. So I hope you got this point. Already you know this concept, but I discuss once more time. Okay, leave this one. So where can we use Python? Okay, sir. Now let me discuss some interesting topic. Okay, I hope there is no confusion, sir, up to now. So, sir, can you please tell me, okay, now let me discuss, before that, let me discuss some companies that are using Python now. Okay, companies, okay, using Python programming language. Can you give me any example using Python? Very small company, like for example, what? Let me write very small company name. What is the company name? Like your Google, okay, na? Like NASA, okay, na? Like Uber. The example, for example, Spotify or Instagram. Okay, for example, Instagram. So, sir, this small company using Python programming language. So, sir, what? Your Python is not a programming language. It's a passport to the future technology. You are learning Python. You are learning Python programming language means you are learning a super duper skill. Okay, sir. With this one, now let's come to our actual point. Okay, mainly I want to discuss this concept in our today's class. This is the most important. Okay, so I'm not just simply writing. Let me explain in details the feature of Python programming language. Right? Already you know few concepts that I discussed in the previous class now, but no problem. Let me repeat each and everything. Okay, today. So, sir, right now what we want to discuss, actually, I want to discuss the feature of Python programming language. Okay, na, sir? Let me discuss or Python features. Okay, features of Python or Python's features. Okay, sir. So already you know, sir, some concept like your Python is easy. Okay, simple. You know some concept, simple and what easy to learn, right? Easy to learn. Okay, sir. Already you know Python is like a English like statement. Often Python is considered with your English language also. It's very simple. It's not. Your Python is what, sir? Easy to write. Easy to write. Okay, na sir. Easy to read. Should I explain once more time? Easy to read. I explain na. Easy to read, and even easy to learn also. Okay, na? Your Python is easy to read, easy to write. Okay, easy to learn also. Sir, why? I explained one. I provided one example in our last class, but I think I should explain this one. We are writing in Java. We are write to print like hello world. How many lines of code we are writing in Java, in Python, and in C, and in Python we can do our task simply using one line. Okay, did this one simply, you already know. I think no need to explain once more time, but okay, I can give you once more example. For example, consider one simply program. It's like in English like statements. Consider marks equals to like 70. Okay, for example, like in condition like if what marks, I'm writing one program. If you don't understand any single line, any single character, no problem. It's totally our theory class, right? Okay, no need to practice this code also. Leave this one. If marks greater than equals to what? For example, like 60. Okay, then very good, right? Okay, printf, good. Otherwise, okay, else, otherwise, what? Print, sorry, why printf, man? It's print, na? Not printf even. Okay, print what? Okay, stick with like Jack Software Academy. Okay, sir. So simply, this is our one program. I repeat once more time. Don't ask if you don't get anything, even no problem. So this is our simple program. Even any student can understand this program without any explanation also. Now consider this is our test.py. Simple, na? It's very simple, very easy to write, easy to understand our Python programming language. Sir, another concept I want to share with you. Python provides a rich set of modules. You already know now what does mean by module? What does mean by module? Nothing but a Python program. Nothing but a Python program. What does mean by package? I'm repeating once more time. If you miss the previous class now. So what does mean by module? Module simply means what? Okay, let me write here. Module simply means one Python file now. One Python file or Python program. What does mean by package? One consider one folder that contains multiple Python program, multiple.py file, multiple.py file. We are calling this folder as a what? As a package. But one difference between package and what? Package and folder. Your package extra contains one file na. I underscore init underscore dot py. Extra contains nothing more than this. You already know now what does mean by library. Library means what? Your collection of packages na, collections of packages, right? Packages, okay na sir? And what does mean by your framework? Consider na some popular library, for example your numpy, okay na, like numpy, pandas na, matplotlib. Okay, leave this one. Certainly we will learn each and everything. Okay, what does mean by framework, sir? Okay, framework means what? Framework means collection of libraries, right? Collections of libraries. But okay, it's not true now. Okay, like it's not actually true. What does mean by collection of libraries plus some what na? You already know some rows plus some structure na, structure plus control flow. I no need to explain now, already control flow. Leave this one. I hope you already know this concept. Okay, na sir. So what does mean by module na? It's module. Module. Okay, na simply a Python file, right? Okay, or Python program. So sir, Python provides why it's easy. It provides n number of modules. Now n numbers of modules. Simply we can use. Like in your HTML, simply we are using the what? We are using the tag na. So simply in Python we are using the module. We can use this module in our program. No need to define, no need to write from the scratch, right? From the beginning. Directly we can use. So it also easy for this purpose also. Let me clean this one also. Okay, consider your Python provides what sir? A rich set of modules. Okay, just a moment. Let me explain one or two point. Okay, it's our test.py. Okay, na sir. So your Python provides now Python provides what sir? Provides a rich set of modules. Okay, na sir. You already know the module concept. Consider. Can you give me some example name? I already discussed now. For example, consider your random module. Okay, na. Consider date and time module. Na. Consider for example calendar module, consider math module, OS module, this module, na different modules already are available. Even I showed you practically where this module are available. Whenever we are downloading the Python software, at this time only, at the Python software, they will come automatically, right? No need to download, no need to install this module separately, right? So directly, sir, we can use this module. How we can use for consider we can import this module. How we can import this module? Sir, simply how we can import one example, one program like import. I'll explain, sir. Don't ask this type of question if you don't understand anything related to program. Simply focus on the theory. So, for example, import consider like what? Consider the calendar. Calendar. I am importing this module. So directly I can use. So I can directly use, for example, hey calendar. What sir? What do you want? Okay, na? Okay, so I want to see the month. For example, I want to see all the months, or consider months, or consider I want to see all the months. Then I can use your calendar also. I will show you, sir, no problem. Calendar of what? Like consider 2026, sir. It will show you. This is our program now. This is our simple program. Okay, simple program. It will show you, sir. It will show you all the calendars of all the months, January, February, all the months of 2026. Okay, leave this one. Sir, we can use this math module, right? How we can use this math module, sir? Very simple only, right? Consider this is our another program, like consider what? Consider another program like import, or directly we can write this one from the Python interactive shell, right? You already know. We can open a CMD command prompt, and then we can type Python. What will happen? Python interpreter na, or Python interactive shell will be opened. Leave this one. So we can type, like we can write down the program like this way: import math. Okay, na sir. So you know na your module contains what? Okay, sir. Your module contains what? Module contains actually function. Module contains actually the what? The members, the data members or the variable. Module contains the class also. Leave this one. So import math. So you can, okay, let me, it will show this what? It will show this all the calendars. If you want, you can print also. Let me print. If you don't print, even no problem, you will see the output, but you need to write in the command prompt also, right? Python interactive shell. But if you write in the program, if you write in a file, then you should type. If you write in a file, if you write in a Python program or a Python file, like if you create a file like test.py, then compulsory you need to type print. Okay na? So we want to print this value also. Leave this one. So import what? Consider we are importing another Python program or another module, math module. So simply we can use this module. Hey math, what is the value of pi? Do you know pi in mathematics? What does mean by pi? Now what is the value? 3.14159265358. this kind of value. So simply it will return the value. If you want, you can print the value also. Okay na sir? Print. Sir, you can use, for example, square root of the, consider 25. Can you tell me what is the square root of 25? Like 5 na? So I can write this point. I can write like this way na. I can write like this way. Can I write like this way? Square. Okay, maybe you are not, it is not visible very well. Let me write here. Like root over 25. Can I write like this way? Square root of what? Of 25. Same things na sir? Both are same things. So directly we can use this function like what? Hemet. Okay, what do you want, sir? Square root. What is the value of square root of what? Square root of 25. So it will return the value. If you want, you can print the value also, sir. Okay, na? Okay. But consider, okay, this is consider our one program or another program, right? Any confusion to understand? Yes. If you have any confusion to understand, no problem. This is totally our theory class, nothing more than this. Simply, I'm explaining, we can directly use this module. Now, we can directly use this module. With this one, for example, I think it will better now. Let me clean this board also. Okay. So, sir, right now, let me clean this one. So, consider, in your mathematics, like if I asked you what is the value of square root of 9 or square root of like 25, sir, very easily will answer na, very easily will answer. What is the answer? Like the square root of 3 or like a square root of 9 is 3 na, like a square root of what? Square root of, for example, 25 is 5. So very easily you can answer. But if I ask you what is the answer of square root of minus 25, okay, then what should be the answer? Do you know this concept? If you don't know, no problem, ignore this concept. But let me explain. For example, if I ask you, okay, what is the square root of, for example, 25? Very simply you will answer, oh, means what is the value of root over 25? You will answer what? 5 now. But if I ask this same question, what is the question, sir? My question is, what is the answer of square root of minus 25? Means square root of what? Minus 25. Then what should be your answer? In mathematics, you already know this concept now. Like 5i. I know it too. Okay, if you don't know, just ignore. So, sir, okay, we can write this program like this way, like import. If I try to use this math module, and if I write like this way, like hey math, okay, I want to find out the square root of, for example, minus 25. Okay, consider this is our one another program also, and I want to print the value. Print. Okay, now I want to print the value. Sir, it cannot calculate. It will give you one error, right? It will give you one error because it cannot perform the root operation of negative number. Now already if you type, if you use your calculator minus 25, okay, in some calculator you will get different result. Leave this one, or math error or something like. Sometimes you will get 5 by also, or maybe you will get the error like value error, value error, you can check. But leave this one. But to perform this kind of complex operation, your Python is giving another module, another module, like there is a module like math, another module to perform complex operation. There is another module called C math. So directly we can use, okay, now we can use this one also, like C math. Okay, CMath. We can import this module and we can use a CMath. I want to perform right now square root of 25 minus 25. Yeah, you will get your answer. What? 5i. But here in mathematics I, but in Python simply you will get something like 5j. Don't worry. Certainly I will explain the complex data type also. Leave this one. This is totally our theory class. Just what is my actually what I want to mean why Python is easy programming language. Now I'm discussing this concept, this topic, because it is providing a rich set of modules like your math, your C math, your random, your date and time. N number of modules are giving. Simply we can use. So Python is very easy programming language for the developer, right? I hope you got this point. Okay, no need to explain. Sir, okay. So can I explain another things? Okay. Okay, do you know, for example, uh, if you know about a memory allocation concept, if you know the C programming language, then it's fine. If you don't know, then no problem. But let me give you one example, one Python example. Consider this is your Python program, right? This is your Python program, right? Test.py. Sir, consider x equals 10. No need to define the data type. In C, we need to define, or in C++, we need to define the data type like integer a equals to 5. We need to define the data type, right? Like integer, float, double, long, whatever in C or Java or C++. But in Python, no need to define the data type. Okay, I'm explaining. Leave this one. So consider x equals to 10. So another wrong concept actually in your mind, another wrong concept, especially if you know the C programming language, or even I saw multiple teachers, they are explaining the wrong concept actually. First of all, let me cover this concept. I repeat once more time right now. If you don't get this concept, no problem. Okay, what is the wrong concept actually? Consider this is your C code, or like your Java or C++. Now we are writing this line. So what will be happen, sir? One box will be, or one memory will be allocated, one container. What is it? One container. What is the name A? And this container contain the value 5. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. But in Java, in Python, this is not actually concept. This is not something like one bit. Let me check whether video is recording or not. Just a moment. Oh my god. Now I think it's fine. Okay, sorry, the camera was stopped by default. Leave this one. Okay, so maybe last 2 or 3 minutes, it was not capturing, right? Okay, but no problem. Let me explain. I didn't explain anything. Simply, this is the import. Now, simply I import one method. Now, import C method. Actually, I wanna mean your Python is providing or giving you multiple modules. We can use this kind of module like math, C method. And what is the value of square root of 25 or sqrt 25 na 5 or minus 25 in normal mathematics? What is the answer? Simply 5 by. But in Python, for to performing this kind of operation, to find out the, the negative square root of, to find out the square root of any negative number, we are using another module. We are not using math, we are using math module, sorry, CMath module, and directly complex math module. And we can use, certainly I will explain. If you don't get anything, no problem. And what will be the result? The result is not 5 by. In mathematics we are expressing like 5 by, but in Java, in Python, the you will get the result like 5j. Okay na? And another concept, another wrong concept actually, like Java. Consider in your Java or C++ programming language. Okay, like integer a equals to 5, right? Integer a equals to 5. Then what will be happen? One container a is one container, and this container store the value of 5. Okay, leave this one. But in Python, for example, x equals 10, x equals 10. So this is not something like x and it storing the value 10. This is not something like, no problem. I will explain very deeply, but right now just keep in mind one object will be created. One object will be created like one object, and x is pointing to this object. Right now, what is the value? The value of this object is 10. So x is pointing right now 10. So later consider. So this is not something like this. This is wrong concept. You should express, or if you want to draw any picture or image, you should draw like this way, not like this way. But what is the reason? What is the behind the scene? No problem, sir. Don't worry. Simply right now I'm covering one point. Simple and easy to learn. With this one. So consider the letter x equals to 15. So what will happen? What will happen? Just observe the internal. Another object will be created. What is the value of this object? Simply 15. And right now your x is pointing here. Your x is pointing here, right? Your x is pointing here. And this link, okay, there is no link, right now x pointing to this object. So now tell me, is it possible for you to access this object? No, it's not possible for you, because there is no reference, there is no pointer. What is reference pointer? No problem, I will explain. Certainly ignore if you don't understand this concept, this pointer or reference concept. If you know, see, or Java or C++, already you know the reference concept or pointer concept. If you don't have any idea, just leave this one. Simply keep in mind, pointer is something, some variable or some name that points another thing, another object. Okay, ignore this one. So sir, what will happen actually at this moment? Right now, this is the memory, right? This is the object. This is the unused object, right? Unused object. Consider you are doing multiple times. You are doing same thing multiple times. For example, later you are doing like x equals to 30. So what will happen? Another object will be created 30, and x is pointing here. Right now there is no link. There is no connection. So if I do like this way, then consider it once a moment, your memory will be full of this object. There is no space in your memory. Yes or no? So we need to worry about this concept, about memory management concept. We need to think. Also, we need to think about memory management concept. But Python is telling, hey boss, you no need to think. You no need to worry about this memory management concept. I am giving you one special program, one special guys, one special person. What is the name? The name is garbage collector. Garbage collector. Okay, na? Collector. Let me clean this one. Garbage collector. Collector. What is a garbage collector? Simply, you can keep in mind, it's a background. Okay, background program, right? So your Python is telling like this way: hey programmer, hey developer, you no need to think about memory management. You no need to worry. I'm giving you some special person, some special guy that that will free this memory, that will delete this unused memory, right? So are you observing Python is too much easy enough for you? Because you no need to think about this memory management also. Python will take care for you this concept. Simply Python is telling you, simply boss, you need to focus on logic, you need to focus on subject, you need to focus on the code, right? No need to focus on this low level memory management concept. Okay, I hope you got this point also, why we are telling or considering Python is simple and easy to learn programming language, right? Okay, but I want to share this information actually. uh, yeah, it's true, Python is easiest programming language, easy to learn, okay, now easy to understand. It's like an English like statement, but if you want to feel, actually if you want to build, certainly you need to provide that time, you need to waste your time, right? Okay, now, so if you want to what is happening internally, what is happening, like I want to see, because Python hides so many things from you. Python hides so many things from you. You know, like in Java, we are writing multiple lines of code to do this one, but in Python, we are not doing this one directly. For example, to do this one in Java, we need to write a big complex line. That, but in Python, simply we are doing like this one. That means what? Internally, so many things is happening, right? Python hides from you. So if you want to feel this concept, if you want to understand this concept, certainly you need to spend your time. Actually, you need to spend your time, and okay, certainly you have to waste. But leave this one. I don't want to share anymore. Otherwise, you will ignore learning Python. Okay. Okay. So I hope you got this point. Now I explained three concepts. First concept. Now it took so many time. Okay. But I think let me share one more concept. Then I think I should stop explaining this. What does mean by simple and easy to learn? Now, last one more point. If I explain like this, I don't know how many people will watch this video, but no problem. If you even don't watch, I think no problem. You are not watching means what? Certainly, there are some other good resources. But I hope the person who wants to fill the Python, certainly they will not skip, right? Certainly, sir, it's quite common sense. Not just it's not for me, for anyone, for anyone. If you want to feel this concept, certainly you have to waste your time. And first of all, is it possible for anyone or any teacher or any tutor to explain each and everything, or to explain everything within 5 minutes, within 10 minutes? I think I don't know even this concept. Okay. So another concept, let me explain actually. Okay. So sir, if I say like this way, like consider in Java, I think I should ignore this one. In Java, sir, in Java programming language, there are, for example, like 50 plus keywords. You know what does mean by keywords, right? Keywords. Do you have any idea? If you don't know, no problem. Simply keep in mind, keywords mean some reserved word, right? Reserved words. Okay. Your Python interpreter, your Python machine or Python engine interpreter already know about this word. Your Python interpreter already know these words. Python has no some meanings of these words, na. For example, your if, your if na, but no problem. I will explain this, sir. For example, your else. These are some reserved word we are using for special purpose. But leave this one even if you don't know anything about keywords. So actually, I want to say here in your Java there are 50 plus keywords, right? Keywords. But do you know in your like C plus plus there are like 60 plus keywords, right, sir? Okay, let me clean this one, or let me better to write here. Like in your like C sharp, there are considered 70 plus keywords. Okay, keywords. But do you know how many keywords are available in Python? Only 33, only for 33 to 35, maybe 35 keywords right now. No? 35 keywords. Okay, now only 35 keywords in Python. 35 keywords where in Python. So are you observing compared to other languages, other programming languages, Python is too much easy, right? Okay, if you want, you can see these keywords also, right? For example, we can create one program to see these keywords also. Let me write this code also. For example, like like consider import what import keyword. There is a module na, in Python. There is a module called keyword. So we are telling, hey keyword, okay, hey keyword, please give me the list, all the list of what keyword list. Give me all the keyword list. There is a concept in Python called list set. I will discuss. So give me all the list of the keywords. So we are telling, hey keyword, give me all the keyword list. Okay, now if you want, you can print this value also, sir. If you want, you can print this value. Simply print. It will return the value. It will return all the keywords. Simply, if you want, you can print. Okay, now you can print the value also, no problem. So it will show you all the keywords. Okay, I think uh, I think first of all, let me simply show this particular point also to the system. First of all, let me open a CMD or command prompt. Simply type CMD. Okay, this is our command prompt. Now let me open Python interactive shell. Just type Python, right? Python. Okay, you can consider this is our Python interpreter. Okay, now let me import. Okay, let me import what we want to import. Simply keyword, right? Keyword. Okay, so we are telling to the keyword, hey keyword. Okay, sir, keyword, what we want keyword list, list list. Okay, now, or if you want, you can print like this way, keyword. Okay, now, hey keyword. Okay, what you want, sir? I want to print keyword list. Simply enter, click enter. Are you getting? Okay, there are multiple keywords, right? So no need to memorize, right? Are you observing? Let me count. For example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, now 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35. So right now there are 35 keywords, right, in Python only. Please, no need to memorize any keyword, right? No need to memorize. Automatically you are able to keep in mind. Okay, friends? Friends, to explain a single point, it took almost 40 minutes. But I hope you got the point. Why? Python is considered as the easiest programming language, right? Now let me explain other features also very quickly. Okay, let me clean the board, it will be better for us. Okay, so you already know, right? Your Python is the simple and easy to learn programming language. Now let me write another feature. For example, you already know your Python is freeware, na? Freeware and open source, right? And open source. So, sir, here what does mean by freeware? What does mean by freeware? Freeware means, in simple term, it's 100% free. Means you can download the Python software from the official source freely without providing any single dollar also, right? It's 100% free, right? 100% free. It 100% free to what? Free to download. Okay, na sir? Download and install. Okay, and we can use our project also, right? We can use Python. I hope there is no need to explain any concept, right? Okay, so yeah, what does mean by open source? Do you have any idea, any idea about open source? Okay, let me clean the board and let me share one information with you. Okay, do you know anything about Linux or Linux operating system? If you know, then it's perfectly fine. If you don't know, then no problem. Okay, so here what does mean by open source, sir? Here actually open source means, now what does mean by open source, can you please explain? Okay, the source code of Python, now the source code of Python is available online. Let me write this point also. Okay, source code of Python, na, or Python source code available online, right? So, sir, you can do one thing. You can download this source code. You can download this source code now. Let me write this point. Anyone, not only you, you can download this source code, right? This source code, and you can modify. You can modify, or you can customize. Customize. You can customize this source code. Like if you know anything about Linux operating system, right? There are multiple flavor or multiple distribution of Linux. For example, your Kali Linux, na, your CentOS, your Fedora, your Ubuntu, na, there are multiple version or multiple flavors or distribution of Linux operating system, right? Maybe you know this concept. So here you can do one thing. You can do what you can do. Simply, sir, simply, you can download this source code, right? This source code is publicly available online. You can download this Python source code and you can customize. You can create your own flavor. You can customize your own distribution. For example, you can create a version like, for example, okay, na, Zacks Python, okay, Python, and you can use this version for commercial purpose also without any restriction. I hope you got this point. What does mean by freeware? Na? It 100% free to download from the official source. Na? You can install, you can use. Okay, na? You can use your educational purpose, commercial purpose. Okay, the source code is publicly available online. You can download this source code. You can modify, you can customize this source code, and you can create your own flavor. You can create your own what? This is your own flavor, na, or distribution. Labor or distribution. Okay, na, distribution. Like your Kali Linux, your Ubuntu Linux, your Fedora Linux, na, your CentOS. Leave this one. So you can create your own customized Python version, right? Own customized Python flavor, and you can use for your commercial purpose. Okay, leave this one. So now I think it will be better for me. Let me explain something about uh, like flavor of Python also. Just simple one point. Let me give this information. Let me share this information with you. Okay, sir. So what I want to explain at this moment. Now, sir, your flavors or Python flavors or distributions of Python, right? Okay. So, sir, here what does mean by this? Hopefully, you get some basic idea what does mean by flavors or what does mean by distributions. But let me share some example. For example, your Python source code is publicly available now. You can download, or anyone can download, and you can customize. Now you can customize your source code, open source code, and you can create your own flavor, own version, own distributions. So for example, sir, consider your C Python one version, one flavor, or one distribution is like C Python. Na? Okay, C Python. Mainly it is used for general purpose. General purpose. Okay, now mainly we are using this one. We are using this general C Python actually. Okay, consider. Okay, for example, consider some more Python actually. For example, your J Python. Okay, na Python. Yeah, what does mean by J? J means Java, or you can say what Jython, right? Jython. It mainly are for your Java platform. For your Java platform means what, sir? Consider uh, this is your Java program, or from the JVM, we can this Jython or JPython can run the Python code. It can run the Python code on JVM, right? On JVM, we can use Python in other programming language also. So on JVM, from the JVM, we can run the code using this JPython or Jython, right? For example, it can run the code, right? Run Python code where, sir? On JVM, right? On JVM. Do you know anything about JVM? Java Virtual Machine. Let me write this point also. Java Virtual Machine. Okay, sir. What is the purpose of this JVM? Your JVM runs actually the Java code. But leave this one if you don't have any idea, if you don't know anything. Okay, ignore. We are not discussing anything about what Java. Okay, sir. So consider your another version. For example, let me write this point also. Consider your Iron Python, right? Iron Python. Okay, it mainly .NET platform for .NET platform. Okay, na sir? Platform. It can run. It can run this flavor. This distribution can run which code? Can run Python code. Python code with what? Can run Python code. What, sir? Python code. Okay, na sir? With like your C sharp or .NET. Okay, sir. Any confusion to understand? Simply some flavors. I'm explaining. I'm just sharing this information. Nothing more than this. Consider. Let me share another flavors like consider your Anaconda Python. Okay, na Anaconda Python, or this flavor actually mainly. Okay, this version, this distribution or this flavor is used in like your data science, na data science. Okay, na data science or machine learning. Okay, na sir, machine learning. Sir, we are using to handle large amount of data, na to process large amount of data. Consider, sir, your another distribution. I can write like this way. Consider your Ruby Python, na. Okay, Ruby Python, Anaconda Python, Ruby Python. It's mainly for Ruby platform. Okay, Ruby platform. Okay, and consider another version like your Py. Okay, so no problem. Later, whenever I am discussing limitation of Python, I will discuss it once more time also. But keep in mind, okay, now there is a compiler in this version for improving the performance. I'll discuss later also. Just leave this one. Right now, just keep in mind for performance purpose. To get the better performance, we are using this flavor or this distribution. I hope you get some basic idea of flavors or distributions of Python, right? Any confusion to understand? I hope there is no confusion. So, sir, let me explain very quickly other distribution also, other Python features also, right? Okay. Right now, I discuss only two feature, right? Only two feature. What is the feature? It is freeware, na, simple and easy to learn, freeware and open source. Okay, na? Your C Python actually we are using. I discuss na right now your C Python, C Python. This is the general Python. Actually, for general purpose, this flavor is for general purpose, and mainly we are using. Now, we are using this one. We are using this version, and mainly we are downloading this version actually, or this flavor actually. With this one, this is the default flavor you can consider. Okay, now C Python. So which flavor we are using, sir? Which flavor we are using? We are using which flavor? C Python, right? Not PyPy, not Ruby Python, not Anaconda Python. Na? Okay, we are using C Python. Just you can keep in mind this information at this moment. Otherwise, simply ignore if you don't get. So just 2 points. One is simple and easy to learn. Another point is freeware and open source. Now let me discuss some uh, some feature. Like for example, I can say like this way. For example, consider this is your what? Okay, na simple and easy to learn freeware and open source programming language. I can write it's in high level. Okay, na high level programming language. Do I need to explain any single line about what does mean by high level programming language? High level programming language. In our previous class, already we discussed now. It is close to which language, sir? Close to human language, right? Close to human language. Let me give you, for example, one easily you can understand. Consider this is your Python file or Python program like equals to 10, now b equals to 20. For example, s equals to a plus b. Now, for example, what? Print s. Okay, print s. Very easily, if I don't explain anything, you can understand what we are performing here, right? Consider this is your test.py. Any confusion to understand? I think no need to explain. Unnecessary. I think I shouldn't make the longest video, right? Even you skip this video, you don't want to watch this kind of video. Okay, leave this one. So, sir, you got this point. Python is your high-level programming language. Means Python is close to human language. It's often compared to English programming. Sorry, English language. Okay, leave this one. So, sir, let me discuss another point. For example, your Python is what, sir? Dynamic programming language, right? Okay, dynamic programming language. Programming language. Now, you will learn more about this point. No need to worry. Dynamic programming language. Okay, sir. What does mean by this? Your Java also like your Python. Okay, na your Python, your Java also dynamic programming language means memory will be allocated. Okay, na? Okay, memory will be allocated. Will be allocated. Memory will be allocated, or space will be allocated now when at dynamically now on runtime, right? At runtime, okay, runtime or memory will be allocated at runtime. Okay, now any confusion to understand this point? Okay, I hope there is no confusion. Let me clean this one also. Okay, so sir, your no need to explain actually dynamic programming language. Even you will learn more about this point, how we are creating the object. At this moment, you can understand more. Just keep in mind it's a dynamic programming language. Now, let me share one more information. Your Python is dynamically typed programming language. Dynamically typed, you know, typed programming language. Sir, what does mean by dynamically typed programming language? Do you have any idea? Okay, let me explain. Sir, do you know anything about C or Java? Consider this is your C or C++ or Java programming language, sir. If you want to store, is it possible? If you know anything about C or C++ or Java, I'm asking you one question. A equals to 10. Is it possible? Is it possible? No, it's not possible. Your JVM in Java, JVM is telling, hey, boss, it's okay. I will create a container called A. It's fine, and I will. Okay, but now tell me, which kind of data you will store? Which kind of data? Either it's an integer value, float value, long value, double value, now, or boolean value, or string value. So please, first of all, specify the data type. Now, specify the data type. So we are telling to the compiler, hey compiler, please I'll store an integer value in this container. In this container A, I will put a integer value like 10. Na? So before using compulsory, we need to specify. We need to define the what? We need to define the data type. I hope you got this point. Means it's an statically typed programming language, right? Your C or C++, your Java, it's a statically typed programming language. Static is a technical term. It's mean fixed. First of all, you will need to define before using the variable, before using the container, before using the memory, before using the variable, you need to define the data type. I hope you got this point. What does mean by statically typed programming language, right? What does mean by statically typed programming language? But what happens? What about Java? What about actually Python? What about Python? Sir, in Python, you can directly write like x equals to 10, right? X equals to 10. What will happen? What will happen? One object will be created like 10, and your x is pointing here, x is pointing here. Later, so we are not defining data type like integer, like float, right? Like float. We are not defining like this way. So we are calling your Python is the dynamically typed programming language. Have you got this point? For example, later we are writing like this here. For example, x equals to, for example, 15, right? Or let me take a string value or any float value, or let me keep it, for example, any float value like 15.1, right? Okay, so what will happen, sir? What will happen? One object will be created. One object will be created. So one object will be created, right now. What's the data type? Can you please tell me? Is it an integer? No, it's a float. Okay, now 15.1. Okay, so right now your x is pointing to this object, right? Your x is pointing to this object, and this link will be totally deleted, right? This link will be totally deleted. I hope you got this point. What does mean by dynamically typed programming language? Do I need to explain any single point? If you don't get understand, if you don't get anything, please you can drop the comment, right? You can ask your doubt in the comment, or you can directly knock to the WhatsApp also. Leave this one. Now let me explain remaining Python features. Okay, it will be better. Let me clean the whole board, right? Then okay, let me save the space. Okay, let me clean. Sir, another feature of your Python programming language is Python is platform independent. Here, what does mean by platform independent? How Python is platform independent? I have to discuss it in detail. Before that, let me cover some more features. Sorry, your Python is robust programming language. Python is robust. Okay, Python Python is robust. Sir, what does mean by robust? Means your Python program. Consider this is your Python program, right? Your Python program doesn't crash. Doesn't crash. Robust means actually strong, right? Strong. So you have created a program using Python. You can rely on this program. This program doesn't crash. Yeah, robust means actually strong, means reliable, right? Reliable means program doesn't crash easily. Let me write this point also. Program. Okay, program. Okay, program doesn't crash easily. Easily. Okay. Sir, actually how or why Python program doesn't crash? Actually, Python has a good exception handling, right? Python can handle the exception. Python can handle the exception now. Exception, or any unwanted event or any runtime error. Any runtime error. Sir, what does mean by this? Let me explain this point also for you. Consider you have a program like, okay, consider the value of a equals to like 10, right? Value of equals to 10. Or if you want, you can take this value from the user. Actually, I didn't explain how to take user input. No problem. I didn't explain anything programmatically, right? So don't worry. You can take the value from the user also like this way. A input, you can take input, simply input. Okay, input what? Like enter first value, enter like enter number one, right? Enter number one. Okay, so consider you are converting this string value to integer, like integer. How internally what is happening? Don't worry if you don't understand, no problem. So suppose consider user is giving as a value 10, right? So the value of a is 10, or a is pointing 10. Now consider the second part, like integer, like input. Okay, input, for example, enter number 2, enter number 2, enter number 2, number 2. Okay, let me give you a semicolon or colon. Okay, so no need to use anything. Okay, so consider your user is giving the second value as 0. So what is the value right now? The value of A is 10 and the value of B is what? Value of B is 0. If you don't understand this one, no point, no problem. Just consider like this way: A equals to 10 and B equals to what? 0. Right now, consider there are some Python lines or Python code. Okay, now consider, or considering you are doing this operation like x equals like a by b, right? So can you tell me right now what is the value? Value is what? 10 by 0, right? Can you tell me what is the value of 10 by 0? Okay, this is not actually infinity, not infinity, mathematically infinity, not infinity, but I am considering this is infinity. Actually this is undefined now. Okay, undefined. Okay, leave this one, but whatever, I'm not explaining your mathematics. Consider the value is infinity, right? So your program will terminate. Right now your program will terminate. Consider there are multiple lines, there are multiple lines. At this point only your program will terminate, right? Unsuccessfully. These remaining lines of code will not be executed. Okay, now this code is generating the error or generating the runtime exception or generating any unwanted exception, right? Unwanted event. So you can consider this code is risky code. Leave this one, leave this one if you don't understand anything. So okay, so here we will get an error now. We will get an error. Actually this is not possible now. This is not possible, not possible to divide with 0 now. One kind of error like 0 division error, division error. Sir, I am not getting anything programmatically, don't worry. So you can do anything. You can say, you can handle. How you can handle? Simply you can write like this way, like try. Here for example, try. Okay, a Python, try to execute this code. X equals what? A by b. Okay, if anything, any error happens, simply accept now. Accept what? Zero division error, zero division error. Consider zero division error. And you can say, for example, print. Okay, it's not possible to divide with 0. You can write anything now. For example, not possible, possible, no problem. You can handle, you can handle the, you can handle the error. Okay, consider this is your one program, this is your one program. Sir, I'm not getting this program. No problem, I will discuss in detail how to handle the exception. So why Python is considered as a strong or reliable programming language? Why Python is robust? I hope you got this point now. Okay, consider this is your program. Like, okay, you want to take for example any age from the user, right? So how you can take, for example, simply age, and you are telling, hey, input. Okay, input, enter age, right? Enter your age. Okay na, or type your age, provide your age. Okay na, enter age, enter your age. Okay, so simply you already know. If you know anything about Python, then maybe know it will return a string value. You need to convert, you need to convert. For example, how you need to convert integer? Sir, I am not getting what you are doing. No problem, don't worry. So consider user is giving one value, like for example like 10 or like 10 na. Is it possible to convert? Certainly it's not possible. So here we'll get an error, here we will get an error. Simply you can, okay, you can handle this exception like this way. For example, try, then what? If any error happens, okay, if any error happens, then certainly this will be executed. Except for example like value error, value error na. So print enter a valid is, print valid is, provide your valid is na, provide your valid is. Okay, valid or valid number, whatever, no problem. So you can say like this way. Otherwise, just a moment. So you can write like this way here. For example, if this is valid, then simply print. Okay, now print your age. something you can print like this way also, or valid na successful, anything you can do, whatever, no problem. We will show you programmatically, don't worry. So here, what does mean, sir? Python is robust means what? Python has strong exception handling. Huh? Python is, let me write this point also. Python has strong words are strong exception handling. Exception handling. So Python program doesn't crash easily, right? So Python program doesn't crash easily. You can handle the unwanted event, runtime error, or any kind of exception you can handle, right? You can rely on the Python programming language. Okay, sir. I hope you got this point. Let me clean the board. Okay, sir. So I hope this point is clear. What does mean by your robustness? Sir, another point you can consider like this way also. Like your Python is consider you have a C programming language, right? Or C++ programming language or Java programming language. So you want something like this way. You want to use your Python. For example, right now I am using Java programming language. I want I want to run some Python code. I want to call some Python code from Java programming language. Or consider I am using Java. Or consider instead of Java, let me take consider I am using Python. So what do you want actually? I'm using Python, but sometimes your Python is not good for performance, right? Performance wise, some Python is sometimes not good. So you can do, sir. Your most performance language what? Your C++ programming language or Java also. Okay, Java is also good performance. So you are thinking like this way. Python is not what? Python is not good for performance. So, sir, you can write some codes, some good performance code in C or C++ or Java. Okay, now you can write some code, and from Python you can use this code. From Python you can call this code. Okay, let me write this point also. Okay, your means what? You have a Python programming language now, or this is your Python program. So you can what, sir? You can extend, right? Extend means you can what? You can, sir, add some feature, right? You can add some feature, right? Some features using what, sir? Using other programming language, right? Using other programming language like your C++. So can I say this point is extensible? Your Python is what? Extensible, right, sir? Yeah, what does mean by extensible? Means what? Means we can use other programming language code in Python also, right? Do I need to write? Okay, from Python. Okay, let me write what? Okay, for example, we can extend what, sir? We can extend or add the features now, add Python capabilities. We can extend the Python capabilities now, extend or add Python features or new features, or extend Python capabilities, Python capabilities now, capabilities using what, sir? Using other programming language, right? Using other programming language capabilities. Okay, na, sir? Using other programming language. Consider your like C++, Java means what, sir? Sir means what? Extensible means actually what, sir? Means actually you can use other codes from Python, right? Is it clear? Let me write down this point also. You can use, or we can use other programming language codes now. Okay, na? Others code, right? Others code on Python or in the Python or from Python. Okay, any confusion to understand this point? So, for example, consider your module na. Consider your like NumPy module na. Consider your pandas module. Okay, na, sir? Pandas module or your TensorFlow or multiple modules. N number of modules are created in which programming language, sir? Are created in which, sir? Are created in C or C++, C or C++. From the Python only we are using this programming. we are using this code only. So are you observing why NumPy or Pandas is fast, right? So mainly we are doing mainly for to get the better performance. I hope you got this point. What does mean by extensible, right? Okay, sir. Consider you can use other programming languages from Python. In the same case, sir, from other programming languages from okay. Here one point. Actually, I have a plan to make a program directly. Now, how we can call C or C++ code or Java code from Python. But I changed the decision because actually people skip the long video only now. But no problem. If you want, certainly I will make a separate dedicated video. I'll show you how to call like your Java code from Python program, right? Okay, leave this one. So, sir, another point. So, in the same case, in the same way, sir, in the same way, we can use other programming language code from Python. In the same case, from other programming language, we can call Python code, right? Have you got the point? Means what? Consider this is your Java code. This is your Java code, right? Java code. So you can here you can insert, right? You can insert your Python code, right? Insert your Python code. Insert your Python code. Okay, na sir? Python code. Or I can say I can put the Python code now, or more technical term, I can embed the Python code, right? Okay, embed. So, sir, can I say Python is embedded programming language? Can I say? Yeah, certainly Python is embedded. I hope you got the point also why Python is embedded now. Let me write down this point also. Embedded means what, sir? From other programming languages, na? From other programming languages. For example, you are developing a game now. Consider this is your game. Using which programming language, sir? Using C or C++. For AI part or for scripting part, you can use Python. For scripting you can use Python programming language, right, sir? That means what? From other programming language, from C or C++, or consider from your Java, you are using Python programming language. You are using your Python code, means you are embedding your Python, right? Simply you are embedding. Is there any confusion up to now to understand this point? Actually, what does mean by embedded? Means what, sir? We can now we can put, okay, na, put or insert or embed. Now embed what, sir? Embed Python code, Python, okay, na, sir? Python's code into other programming language, right? Into other programming language. Other programming language, na? Consider from your C++, na? From C++, we can call Python code, na? We can use Python code. Sir, to understand this point, is there any confusion? Sir, another point I can say, I think no need to explain any single thing, because I already explained in the previous class na. Your Python is what, sir? Python is a modular programming language na. Python is object oriented programming language. Python is scripting programming language, right? Okay, Python is procedural oriented programming language. Let me write down this point also. Python is procedural oriented, or your object oriented. Just understand theoretically, I will explain everything practically. Scripting and what, sir? And modular programming language. Any confusion to understand what does mean by modular programming language. If you don't understand this point, I highly recommend you to watch the previous videos. Programming language, just watching 5 to 6 minutes, fast 5 to 6 minutes, you cannot take the decisions. Okay, sir? Any confusion to understand this point? Okay, now let me explain the concept. Like your Python is platform mode, sir. Platform independent programming language. What does mean by platform? why Python is platform independent. Okay, let me clean the board actually. Okay, sir. Now let me cover one important point, one important feature of Python programming language, right? What is this? Your Python is platform dependent or independent. Maybe it's 9 or 10. Whatever, maybe consider 9. Okay, point number 9. Okay. So your Python is what, sir? Your Python is platform what, sir? Platform dependent or independent? Okay. Platform independent. First of all, sir, here, what does mean by platform, right? This is the question. What does mean by platform? Actually, sir, your platform means your operating system plus your hardware, right? Okay, this is actually your platform. So, do you know, sir, every platform has its own way to execute the program. Do you know this concept? Let me write down this point also, then it will be helpful for you. Okay, so every platform, okay, na, sir, is its own way to execute the native code, na, execute the native code or consider the machine code, right? Machine code. Consider this is your C program. Consider this is your C program, like consider like a dot c, na. This is your C program, like your hash include stdio.h. If you know, then this concept integer main, na. Okay, if you know, otherwise don't worry. So after compilation, sir, what will happen? You know, one machine code will be executed, right? One machine code will be generated. What is the name? A.exe, na. This is called machine code or native code, right? Native code. So, sir, consider this is your like Mac operating system, or consider this is your Windows operating system, right? Or Windows platform. Consider this is your Mac operating system, and consider this is your Linux operating system. Sir, consider if your Windows, consider this a.exe got generated in Windows, sir. If you copy and paste to the Mac operating system, your Mac platform cannot execute this code now, because every platform has its own way now, own technique to execute the code, the native code. So it's quite common sense. Consider one native code is executed in one operating system, but if I copy and paste now, means then it is not possible to execute by other operating system or other platform. This is not portable, right? This is not portable. Okay, na. So actually this native code, na, this a.exe code, na, this native code or this machine code is dependent on the platform, right? Is dependent on the platform. In one platform this machine code is executed, in another platform this machine code is not executed. So now tell me, is it platform dependent or platform independent? Certainly platform dependent, right? Because it is not executed by all the platform, by all the operating systems. So now tell me, sir, but what happens to Python, right? Okay, let me cover this interesting point. Okay, so sir, actually your operating system, already you know, na, your operating system, consider you need to run a program, right? You need to run a program. This is your program, any program, like consider your test.c program or test.py program, Python program, or consider your test.java program, whatever the programming language, no problem, sir. So you know, to run this program, you know something, huh? First of all you need the processor, right? You need the CPU. Okay, sir, to store the variable, to store the value, you need what, sir? You need memory, right? You need memory. Consider this is your memory is required. Memory, sir, to take some data, na, to take input, to take the value from the outside, na, to enter some value to the program, you need some input device, right? Input device. Consider your input device is what? Like this is your input device like your keyboard, right? Keyboard. Sir, you want to send some data from the program. Okay, now you want to display something. So you can display through like your monitor, your console. This is output device, right? Output device. So sir, who controls everything? Who controls everything? This all the things now, your in keyboard or your monitor or your CPU or your memory, everything is what? Everything is a resource. Resource. So sir, who allocate this resource? Certainly, this resource is allocated by the what? By the operating system. So sir, what does mean by operating system? If anyone asks you, simply operating system means what? Resource allocator. Don't say your bookish knowledge, simply say resource allocator. Allocator. Sir, after completing the program, your operating system will remove now, will delete this resource also. Means simply will remove this resource. Simply remove the connection. So you can say your operating system is also resource deallocator. Deallocator, right? Any confusion to understand? I hope already you know this concept. But okay, sir. So I hope you got this point. What does mean by actually platform independent? Actually platform or platform independent. Actually, what does mean by platform? Platform means what? Actually, your operating system and hardware, right? And operating system is a resource allocator. So yeah, one thing before that, before covering this concept, let me discuss something about Java. Sir, I don't know anything about Java. Simply, I know how to spell Java. Without this, I don't know anything. No problem. No problem. Just focus whatever I am discussing. Just a moment. Just a moment. This is important. Now, don't skip. Okay, consider. Okay, first of all, consider your Java is also a platform independent programming language. Now, so I am explaining this concept or feature. First of all, let me explain actually what is happening. What is happening to Java? Let me simply explain. Simply explain. Consider, sir, this is your Java program, like simple program class test. Your like public static void main string triple dot or string array r. Okay, system.out.println, for example, Zacks Software Academy. Consider this is your simply one Java program, right? One Java program. The name, for example, like test.java. Test.java, the extension is .java. So, sir, we are compiling this program now. First of all, we are compiling this program. So, in C program, in C or C++ also, we are compiling the program. Okay, now? So, sir, how we are compiling? Simply, if we want to compile from the command prompt, okay, now, if we don't use any editor like Eclipse, okay. So, simply how we are compiling from the CMD or from the command prompt? Simply, we are compiling like, okay, Java C, Java C for compiler, Java C test.java. Sir, consider this file is available inside a folder called Jacksoft. Okay, now Zacks Software Academy or Jacksoft. Okay, inside this folder, this file is available. This file is available. So after compilation, this is called compilation. Compilation. So after compilation, what will happen? One intermediary code will be generated. Now one code will be generated. One file will be created. Extension is something like test.class. Sir, but I'm asking you the question: is it machine code? I'm asking you this question. Do you think is this intermediary code, is it machine code, machine or native code? No, answer is no. This is not native code, this is not machine code. This code is considered as bytecode, right? What is the code, sir? Bytecode. Intermediary code. Na, what is it called? Bytecode. Okay, your machine cannot understand this bytecode. Your machine cannot understand this bytecode. So to execute this bytecode, sir, same things happen to the Python. For example, I am explaining. Sir, to execute this bytecode, if you don't get even 1%, no problem. First of all, just listen what I am explaining. This bytecode will be executed. So your machine cannot understand now. Your machine cannot understand. Machine means your platform, means your operating system can't understand. Okay, understand. But some guys can understand this code. Some virtual machine now, some virtual machine can understand this bytecode, we are calling virtual machine or VM. In Java, we are calling it's a JVM or Java virtual machine. So simply, your JVM will execute this intermediary code or this bytecode. So to execute or to interpret or to run, okay, now we are Java. This is actually our JVM, Java like name test. Okay, leave this one. So we will get the output. We will get our output actually, our output. Okay. Before that, let me do one thing. So actually, sir, this bytecode will be executed by what? By PVM, right? By JVM, na? By JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So consider this is your Windows operating system, na? This is your Windows operating system. Windows. Consider this is your what, sir? This is your like Linux operating system. Okay, Linux or OS or Windows operating system. Consider this is your like Mac operating system or other operating system. Leave this one. Okay, na, sir? Mac operating system. So, sir, your Windows cannot understand this bytecode. Your Linux cannot understand this bytecode. Your Mac operating system cannot understand this bytecode. So, simply one person can understand. What is the person name? The person name is JVM. So, simply we are downloading this JVM here, na. So, we are using here JVM. Please run JVM. Another JVM. JVM for Windows, JVM for Linux, JVM for Mac, right? So all the JVM can understand this bytecode. This JVM can understand this bytecode. This JVM can understand this bytecode. This Mac JVM can understand this bytecode. But maybe this JVM2, JVM1, JVM2, JVM3 maybe not same. Maybe they are not same, but they can understand this bytecode, right? I mean, for Windows 1 JVM, for Linux 1 virtual machine, 1 Java virtual machine, for Mac 1 virtual machine. Maybe they are not, obviously they are not same, but they can understand. So simply we are downloading in Linux, Mac, or all the operating system. So if I execute or if I generate this bytecode in Windows, if I copy this bytecode and if I want to run in Linux, is it possible or not? Certainly it's possible, right? Because if in the Linux operating system, if the JVM or the virtual machine is available, then certainly it's possible for us to run or execute the program. I hope you got the point why Java is platform independent, right? Because of this virtual machine, because of the virtual machine. But this virtual machine is platform dependent or independent? Certainly platform dependent, because for Windows one virtual machine, for Linux one virtual machine, for Mac one virtual machine. So same things happen to the Python. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so I think no need to. Okay, just 1 minute. Consider this is your Python code. Exactly same thing. This is your Python code, like your what? Let me take one example, or consider. Let me equals to 10, b equals to 20. For example, print what's our a plus b. This is your Python code, like test.py. Okay, you can use uppercase or lowercase, no problem. So, sir, do you know one command? Like even I showed you in the previous class, na, practically, like python.exe, where this is available, na, where this is available. Actually, everything is taken care by python.exe, na. This is our actually C Python. Okay, na. Actually, this is our Python engine, Python machine, whatever the main engine. Okay, ignore this one. So, okay, sir. So, what will happen? What will happen whenever? First of all, can you tell me how we can run any Python program? Don't say simply use PyCharm or simply your BS or Visual Studio Code and simply click the run button. We can run the program. It's okay, but internally, what is happening? Consider this is our CMD, na. Consider this is our command prompt, right? Command prompt. From the command prompt, we are typing, na, Python. Then this simply finding test.py, simply test.py. We get the output. Yes or no? Certainly yes, we get the output. So, sir, internally two things happen. First of all, okay, na, sir, your Python compiler. I'm explaining actually what is happening. Actually, your Python means this is not a single software or single tool. Here means here only embedded na multiple software or multiple person is embedded. So simply consider python.exe means compiler plus something. I'm explaining, just 1 minute. So this compiler will convert, okay na sir, internally this compiler will convert into bytecode. Simply bytecode, what is the name sir here? Test.py na. So simply the bytecode name is consider like test. Let me write the bytecode name, like consider we are using C Python. You know already about C Python, right? Like C Python bytecode name, nothing more than this C Python. Like you are using for example 3.10 major version, then what micro or minor version na? And some macro version, but ignore about macro version. So here it will show 310. If you use 3.12, here you will get 312, not point any, 312. Just keep in mind, I'm showing you practically 312. And the extension in java dot class, but here extension is py-c. So just keep in mind, ignore about this one, ignore this part. Py.pyc is the extension of the bytecode in Python. So one bytecode will be generated. Okay. Then, okay na sir. Then here what does mean by compiler? Python.exe means actually your compiler plus your interpreter. Na? Or let me clean this one. Not instead of interpreter, let me told you let me say you like this way. Your virtual machine, one virtual machine. What is the virtual machine sir? In Python we are considering this a PVM, Python virtual machine. Okay, plus some tools, some other tools. Okay, leave this one. So sir, let me color this one. Okay, so first of all, just keep in mind what does mean by python.exe. What does mean by Python? So sir, whenever we are writing like this way now, like your Python, not need to write python.exe, python test.py. What will happen internally? Simply I am explaining. So first of all, one intermediary code will be generated. Then what will happen, sir? Then your PBM. Consider this is your Windows operating system. This is your Linux operating system or Mac operating system, whatever the operating system, no problem. Consider this is your PBM. Your PBM will execute this bytecode. Okay, now line by line will execute, and we see the result. We get the result. So internally all the things happen. Right? Okay. Actually, this code will be stored in the memory, only in the memory. So are you observing why Python is easy? Python is hiding from you these steps. Python is hiding from you this kind of steps. Okay. So simply if we write like this, simply we get the output. So this file is stored. In the where? In the memory, in the RAM, actually in the memory. So it doesn't store manually. It doesn't store to the file, to the disk, right? If you want, you can store. Just wait, I'm explaining some few points also. It doesn't explain. It doesn't store to the disk. After completing the task, Python is thinking, oh, this is a simple, just only one time activities, no need to store, no need to save to the disk. Okay, no need to save to the like your C drive, your D drive, no need to store. Simply it delete, right? Simply it deleted from the RAM. But let me show you one more program. I hope you got this point why Python is. So now let me cover some more point also. Okay, before that, I think I need to explain this point. Just a moment, let me show the time also. 1 minute. Okay, I can. Yeah. So sir, okay, so let me cover some few points or few topic actually at this moment, then it will be better to understand. Consider your one. Let me very quickly, let me write, for example, like one file. Consider one file like your, simply like definition, like add a comma b. Okay, consider print, or let me, or simply print, print, consider a plus b. or if you want you can return the value also. Just a moment, return the value also. Okay, so like return a plus b. So this is your one module now. Let me write here, for example, addition module or simply add.py, no problem. File name and function name both are same, no need to worry. So sir, here another program, consider this is your test.py, or consider you are importing the Python program like this way. You are importing like this way, for example, import. Sir, I am not getting anything the program, don't worry. For example, import what, like your Edna, import add. So you are calling like this way, print, okay, add dot Edna. You are calling add dot add. If you don't understand, even no need to worry. Like for example, 5,2. So right now, sir, the same thing happened, right? Same things happen. Right now, if I compile, same things will be happen. Na? The same steps will happen. So you will observe. So right now, Python is thinking. So Python right now needs this file, now, this module, and this module, and this module. So at this moment only, Python is thinking, oh, this program is using this add.py module, okay, add.py program. Maybe in the next time, other program needs this module. So Python is simply doing one thing, one legendary thing. Simply Python is doing like this way. Consider this is your folder now. What is the folder name? Like for example, test like Jacksoft now. Jacksoft, any folder, whatever, or Jack Software Academy, Jacksoft. In this folder, we have what? We have these two file now, add.py, no problem. I'm showing you practically, and another program like test.py. So Python will create one folder. In this folder, Python will create one folder, like consider, okay, one folder. Python will create one folder. What is the name of the folder? Like what? Can you tell me? Underscore na. Okay, pycache underscore. In this folder, Python will store this file. Python will store this bytecode, right? Bytecode. First of all, let me show this one to the system. First of all, let me create a Python program, right? Right click, new, then text document, any name, right? For example, 8.py. Okay, sir. Okay. Yes, are you sure want to change it? Yes. So simply let me open this program, open with, for example, let me open with Notepad, right? So simply, so let me write the code. For example, print like 5 plus 6, right? Control S. Let me run this program. For this purpose, let me open a CMD. Okay, sir, let me run cls. How to run? Python, file name, add.py. What should be the output? 11, right? But here, is there any bytecode? There is no bytecode, right? There is no bytecode. Okay. So now let me do one thing. Let me open another Python program like Notepad, for example, test.py. Okay, now we can create multiple ways file. Okay. So simply let me do one thing. First of all, let me modify. Again, let me open like add. Okay, let me change here. For example, let me define a function like definition like any name like sum, like a comma b. Okay, a comma b. If you don't understand any single line, no problem, don't worry. Return. Okay, return words are like a plus b. Control S. Now let me open the test program, right? Okay, so simply let me write the code. Import, let me import this module, add module, right? Add. Okay, so simply we are printing like, hey add, I want to use your sum. Okay, for example, value is 1 comma 2. So what should be the output? Output will be 6. Control S. Let me save and let me run. Can you tell me? I forgot how to run. Python, then test. Just observe, we are running this test. We are running this test module, right? Test.py module. But test.py module internally use this add module, right? Add module. First of all, let me run. What will happen? Just observe. Let me click enter. So we are getting the output 3. And are you observing one thing? One folder got created, right? One folder got created, underscore underscore py cache. If you want, you can say like this way, like dir. Simply you can search dir. Are you observing right now? In this current location, like in this C folder, C drive, then Zacks Software Academy folder, there are two files, add.py, test.py, and another folder, another directory, underscore underscore py cache. I hope you got this point. Now let me open, let me visit this program, this directory actually. So are you observing, sir? Are you observing the one bytecode got generated, right? What is the extension? I hope you got this point, right? 8, then C Python, okay na, hyphen 3.12, there is not point 312, right? Okay, or 312, and the extension is .pyc. For example, cmd, let me type this one also, dir. Are you getting 8, then dot, then C Python hyphen 312, then bytecode.pyc. I hope you got this point. Now let me do one thing. Let me go back. Simply, if I want, let me delete this one. Let me delete this one. Okay, if you, okay, try again. Okay, it is maybe open. Okay, let me first of all delete from where it is open. Let me delete the cmd actually. cmd. Now, okay, now let me delete right now. Okay, so now I want to compile any program. Like for example, let me open cmd. Okay, sir. CLS, can you tell me? Okay, I will explain this point to the board. Don't worry. How to compile? Simply we are telling, hey Python, we are running like add.py, right? But how to compile? No problem. I will explain this point to the board. Like we are using module. There is a module like py compile. There is a module. Hey Python, use this module. Which module? Py compile. What is the file name? What is the module name? add.py. Simply let me use add.py. Just observe what will happen. Are you getting the folder got created? The folder got created, right? Okay, let me visit. Are you observing? It's the same bytecode? No problem. I am explaining this point to the board also. Okay, sir. So friends, Abby got the point. What is happening internally, right? Is it possible? Is it possible to discuss all the things within 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Certainly, time is required, right? Okay, I hope you got this point. I believe the person who wants to learn deeply, certainly they will continue and wait for the future videos also. No need to force anyone to watch my or our videos. Okay, leave this one. Okay. So already you got this point. What is happening? Your Python is hiding so many things from you, right? So if you want to fill the Python, yeah, certainly Python is easiest programming language, easiest syntax. But if you want to fill, if you want to observe, if you want to understand what's happened internally, certainly you need to spend your time, right? Okay, you are not wasting. You are simply spending your time to be skillful, right? Okay. So sir, same thing now. Okay, Python is thinking maybe this file is required for the future purpose also. Simply Python will save to the underscore 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 na pycache folder. Okay. Okay. So one folder will be created, and in this folder your Python will be executed. If you want, you can run this right now. Okay. So another point, let me cover you for. Okay, I'm explaining later, but one more concept. So if you want, sir, okay, this file will be stored into the memory. From the memory only Python will delete, because Python is thinking this is only one time script, right? But right now I want, sir, I want something. Right now I have only one file, and I want to compile this program. Means I want the same activities. I want the same activities means I want to store this compile file. I want to store this compile file into the disk, right? This is my, this is our requirement actually. So very simply you can run, instead of, okay, from the command prompt, how we are typing. Now we are typing like this way, Python, okay, Python what? Like your add.py na, add.py or test.py, okay, any name was no problem. We are running. So instead of writing like this way, you are telling, hey Python, okay, Python dot what? Okay, Python use this module. Which modules are py.compile. Compile. There is a module called PyCompile. Use this module and then put your file name add.py. Then you will see the same thing, sir. You will see the same thing. What is the same thing? Okay. In your current folder, in your current working directory, one folder will be created underscore pycache, and here only you will see one bytecode. Simply we are compiling, we are not running one bytecode. What is the bytecode name? Let me explain something about this bytecode. Okay, as I am explaining, no problem. Let me discuss this point also. Okay, so consider what will be the name. First of all, manually, okay, so the name will be like your add you are using. Actually your default flavor, your default implementation of Python is C Python na. There are multiple flavor or version na. C Python, right? Like your PyPy, right? Your Anaconda Python, right? Your Ruby Python. You know already all the things. So default Python or the general purpose flavor or version is C Python na. Okay, this is a default implementation. We are downloading this flavor only, like C Python. So it is telling, hey, C Python, and you are using, for example, like 3.1 12.5. So simply it will keep this 312. Like 312 means it is telling like this way: major version is 3 and your minor version is 12. Minor version is 12. Dot, you will get the bytecode like PYC. So right now, sir, have you got this point? So right now, if you copy this program, and in your Java, you can in your Windows operating system, you can run this program. Okay, in your Linux operating system, you can run this program. In your Mac operating system, you can run this program if Python is available. But one point is, it is clearly telling this bytecode is generated by C Python and major version is 3 and 12. So compulsory in your platform, whatever the platform you want to use to run this, to execute this program, no problem. But in this system, in this platform, compulsory C Python means your default Python we are installing, but version should be 3.12, right? My micro version can be different. I think that doesn't, okay, that doesn't affect much. Okay, leave this one. I hope you got this point. So sir, your bytecode is what? Your bytecode is platform dependent or independent? Bytecode is platform independent. So we are telling Python is platform independent programming language. Obviously, don't no need to ask, is source code or bytecode is platform independent? Your bytecode is platform independent. That means what? Compulsory source code also platform independent, right? So whatever, actually platform independent means, actually we wanna mean what? Actually bytecode, okay? So Python is platform independent programming language, right? Okay, and one thing you can ask at this moment, or maybe you heard multiple times, are we know Python is interpreted programming language. Now we learned in from the book, from our varsity, from our class. Python is interpreted programming language. But is really Python is interpreted programming language? I'm asking you. Strictly speaking, Python is not an interpreted programming language, right? Python is both compiled and interpreted programming language, right? But why we are calling Python is interpreted programming language? Actually, okay, just consider you are the developer now. Consider from the developer perspective what we are doing. Simply we are typing, we are telling, hey Python dot what? Python, no need to .exe, no need to write .exe. Python like test.py. Simply we are executing, we are interpreting, we are interpreting or running, okay now, or executing. Okay, executing. Okay, simply we are executing. So we are telling, okay. So just consider from the Java, from the way I'm telling multiple times Java. Okay, consider from the Python developer perspective. We are thinking what? Even you, okay, I don't know whether already you know or no. Up to now, I'm considering you don't know this concept. Right now, you already learned, right? You have already learned this concept. So consider from the from the Python developer perspective, what is happening? We are thinking now, Array, simply we are executing this program. Simply we are running this program. Right? Simply we are telling python.exe what is the purpose. Simply the purpose of python.exe to execute our program, to run our program, to interpret our program. So most of the people thinking python.exe is a Python interpreter, right? Actually Python interpreter, right? Because we are not compiling manually, right? We are considering this is a Python interpreter, but this is not actually Python interpreter. This is the combination of compiler plus interpreter, or PVM, Python virtual machine plus some other tools. So from our perspective, this is a Python interpreter. And consider from our perspective, from the Python developer perspective, simply are we compiling Python program separately like Java program? Are we compiling the Python program? No, we are not compiling. Simply we are interpreting, simply we are executing, simply we are running. So most of the people say, what is our point? 9, 10 or 11. Okay, ignore the point, or let me write here 11 na? Or maybe 10 or whatever the point number. So Python is interpreted programming language also, right? Programming language also. But strictly speaking, sir, Python is not an interpreted programming language. Python is both compiled and interpreted programming language. But from our perspective, from our views, we are not compiling externally. We are not compiling explicitly. Simply, we are thinking, we are executing, we are running, we are interpreting. We are thinking like this way. So we are telling Python is a interpreted programming language, right? Okay. Also, there are some other things, but there are some other reasons actually. Na your PBM, actually this PBM or this virtual machine na actually execute this bytecode. Na this is what code? Bytecode, right? Bytecode. Another reason, your PBM or your Python virtual machine execute this bytecode line by line. Okay, keep in mind, line by line. Line by line means what? It converts into the machine code, means what machine automatically can understand. So it execute line by line. I hope you got this point, sir. Now another point is point number 10. So already you know what you can copy, and you can copy this test.c python, this bytecode. You can copy this bytecode and you can execute in any operating system. You can run on any operating system without touching the source code. Do you need to touch? Do you need to change anything? Do you need to modify anything of your source code? No need to modify. Means you can port now, you can carry your Python program. You can carry, if you can run this bytecode compulsory source code also you can run now. So whatever the source code or bytecode, no problem, we can carry the Python program. We can carry the Python program, or you can copy and paste into the other operating system. Okay, and we can run in the operating system also without changing, without touching, without modifying our source code. So can I say Python is portable? Yeah, why not? Python is portable. This is 11 na? Python is portable programming language. I hope you got this point. Also, I can discuss some other features also, but I think at this moment no need to explain. Okay, so these are actually some uh, powerful features of Python programming language. I hope you got this point. Okay, so why you should learn the Python programming language? I hope you got this point. Now you can ask. Okay, I think okay with this one. Previously I told you now one thing. I think no need to like this concept. What is this one? Like okay now, like Python what? For example, Python. Then we are telling aim use PyCompile now module PyCompile. Then any name now like test.py. Do I need to show this one to the system? I think it's not required. Already you can check. Okay, if you face any issue you can inform us. No need to show to the system also. Okay, so now another point. Okay, so right now you can ask, okay sir, I know Python is powerful programming language, everything is fine. But is there any limitation of Python? Is there any limitation of Python programming language, right? Yeah, there are some limitation actually. Some limitations of Python programming language. Actually, it is sometimes Python is slow, right? Sometimes Python is slow means not good performance. We don't get our expected performance. We don't get sometimes now. Sometimes we don't get our actual or required performance. So performance wise, sometimes Python is not good to the market, not up to the market. Okay, but to improve the performance, now to improve the performance, we can use one version, one flavor of Python, one implementation of Python called PyPyna. Simply, it do one thing. It actually, what is the specialty of Py? This flavor actually the default flavor is C Python now. Another flavor or another implementation of Python is PyPy. Actually, it is JIT or JET compiler, just in time compiler. Actually, it will do one thing. It will directly, without executing line by line, it directly execute some repeated code now, some repeatedly execute code, some code that are executed repeatedly. So your JIT compiler or JET compiler execute this repeatedly or frequently executed code. Your JIT compiler execute this code at the same time to the machine code now. At the same time, it doesn't execute line by line now. Whenever it is running the bytecode, it directly convert into machine code, some frequently executed code now. So we get some better performance, right? Okay, so I hope you got this point. Or another point is now it consume too much memory. Actually, too much means it consume more than other. Okay, it consume memory. Okay, now more than other programming language, now more than others programming language, right? Others programming language like your C++, Java, compared to other programming language, it consume much memory. Yet in consume, and it is not good for mobile application development. Mobile app development, it is not good for development, not ideal for mobile application development. I hope you got this point. Okay, now. So I think certainly this is our actually this two session was our actually what uh, actually theory class. From the next class onwards, I'll directly discuss what are the technical concept. Okay, now main actual programmatical concept. And one thing, okay, if you have any suggestion, you can inform us. Okay, now if you don't get anything, no problem. You can comment your doubt, or you can ask to the WhatsApp also, or you know to the Gmail also. Okay, and if you have any suggestions, certainly you will provide your valuable suggestion to us. Okay, okay, sir. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.